Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. In this episode, I will detail the story of the 456 Pirus. The 456 Island Pirus, also known as the Island Gang, are a Piru gang founded in the 1970s on the north side of Pomona, California. They're called the Islands due to their area being isolated and surrounded by Crips, as well as being the only set of Bloods located in the city of Pomona. Pomona is known for having a lot of SA and Crip gangs, which would be the 456's main rivals, especially the Trey 57 Crips, the Ghost Town Crips, and the Neckland Crips among others. Pomona is located in the Pomona Valley, near the Inland Empire and the San Gabriel Valley, but is still considered LA County, and LA County politics highly affected the gang culture in Pomona, with many other Crips in Pomona affiliating themselves with the Gangsta Crip card, which started in South Central, and the 456s themselves being Pirus, and Pirus originated in Compton. But with that being said, let's get into some cases. A 17-year-old named Timmy and a 15-year-old named Pratish, both members of the Neckland Crips, were fatally shot around 3 p.m. on January 29, 2010, during what witnesses describe as a fight between rival gang members at a park, which was located on Orange Grove and Laverne Avenue in Pomona. The shooter was a 14-year-old named Denzel. He was from 456 Piru. He also was known by D Bix. Him and his brother Devin and 4 others were involved in a fight. Denzel and his 5 co-defendants were each initially charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. The 16s from 456 pled no contest to voluntary manslaughter, and they were each sentenced to different prison terms. Out of the 16s from 456, 3 received 9 years. 1 received 3 years. Devin, Denzel's brother, he received 9 years. And Denzel, who was the youngest person in this case, who was 14 at the time, he received 12 years. By 2013, the streets of Pomona was on fire, and 456 was at an all-out war with several Crip gangs, especially with all the Crips being allies. Police said there were 29 homicides in Pomona in 2013, up from 17 in the previous year in 2012, making it a major increase for Pomona standards, which Pomona's peak year was 34 in the 90s. Pomona PD even began to offer $10,000 rewards for help solving any homicide in 2013. So let's bring a few up. Reports confirm around 2 a.m. on August 11, 2013, that police responded to a shooting in the Valwood community, also known as Sintown, the Trey 57 Crips turf, where they discovered a 29-year-old man suffering from gunshot wounds, which he later died from. Police said this incident was part of a wave of violence that impacted Pomona in 2013. Authorities faced difficulties investigating these crimes due to limited physical evidence. In response, the city explored options such as increasing the number of officers in gang detail, creating a task force to oversee parolees, and conducting probation compliance checks. A lot of shootings happened around this time point, but a lot didn't end in murder, like on July 2nd, 2013. In the 500 block of East Laverne Avenue, police said an 18-year-old named Morris was walking with a woman to a liquor store around 9 p.m. That's when the gunman drove by and fired 5 or 6 shots. Morris was wounded, but the woman was not. Morris was later rushed to a hospital where he survived. The gunman in the shooting was said to be driving a 2008 Chrysler. He was said to be black and wearing a red bandana. On October 9th, 2013, a man named Andre asked a woman named Danielle to drive him to see his girlfriend Sheikah. Andre and Danielle knew each other because Danielle was renting a room from Andre's aunt. Andre then called Sheikah and told her he was on his way. They arrived at Sheikah's home after 7 to 8 minutes of driving. Sheikah looked out the front door and said she was trying to find her keys. Because the wait was taking too long, and Andre, who had been drinking, he got impatient, so he got out the car and went to the front door. He said, "Open the door or else I'm going to kick it." He kicked the door several times, and then the door opened, and then he entered the home. Andre then yelled, "That's why you didn't open the door? Because you got a dude in my house?" By this time, Danielle had gotten out of the car and approached the front door. She said she saw Andre punching a man named Vince. Vince and Andre then began fighting inside the house. Andre fired on Vince, and the two tumbled out the doorway, and they fell down the stairs and struggled on the ground. Vince got on top of Andre, but this didn't last long. Andre then said, "You can't handle me." Then he gained the upper position. He punched Vince in the face a few times and placed his forearm against Vince's neck. Sheikah tried to intervene by pulling Andre's hair, and Andre swung his arm at her. Andre then said to Vince, "You fucking my girl?" Andre remained on top of Vince for about 15 minutes. He attempted to free himself, but he stopped fighting and surrendered. A man named Jacob, who was a bystander, observed Andre on Vince's back with a chokehold on Vince's neck. Andre's right arm was around Vince's neck, and his left hand was pulling on his right arm. At some point, Vince had his eyes wide open and was not moving. Meanwhile, Sheikah kept hitting Andre. Blood came out of Vince's mouth. Andre stood up and took his shirt off and started beating his chest. He then yelled out 456, which Danielle was sitting watching. Knew meant 456 Paru. Andre also yelled Northside Islands and Bloods, and also kept yelling 456. Andre then walked away. Several witnesses seen Vince laying on the ground. He was unconscious, and even with several attempts to wake him up, he never woke up, so 911 was called. Pomona police arrived at the scene around 3:55 p.m. Several witnesses identified Andre as the one involved in the fight. Vince died of multiple traumatic injuries. The coroner's office found substantial pressure had been applied to the right side of his chest, resulting in broken ribs, as well as the right side of his neck. The combination of the neck compression and the compression of the right side of his chest resulted in him fatally dying. Andre was identified by several witnesses, and a letter testified in his trial. Danielle was one of the witnesses. Danielle later testified that she was in the car when she saw the fight between Vince and Andre. She said that she arrived at the steps of the house when Andre and Vince were exiting the house. She said she stood about 8 to 10 feet away as the fight was continuing to happen. After the fight, she said Andre walked away saying 456 and was claiming his hood. For his role in the crime, Andre received 30 years to life. October 25th, 2013, a shooting at a liquor store in Pomona occurred. The incident was captured from various angles by a number of surveillance cameras around the liquor store. A videotape of the incident was later shown to a jury at this trial. The videotape shows a man later identified as James at a liquor store around 10:30 p.m. In the store's parking lot, James interacted with a man later identified as Raymond, including hugging him. James then went inside the liquor store and came back out and left. James returned to the liquor store about 7 to 8 minutes later, driving a pickup truck. A man wearing a blue plaid shirt, later identified as Tre'Vell, James's nephew, got out of the truck, followed by a man in a white shirt. Tre'Vell and his friend walked along the front of the liquor store towards the entrance. As they passed by the entrance, the man in the white shirt fired a number of bullets at Raymond's truck. The gun was very close to Tre'Vell's head, and when the man fired it, Tre'Vell ducked away from the gun and went inside the liquor store. Tre'Vell reappeared briefly at the store's front door and pointed the gun outside the store, and then returned inside the store. Raymond and a few others that he was with were in the front seat of his truck when a man in a white shirt opened fire. Although injured, Raymond was able to flee on foot with two of his friends, later identified as men named Ronald and Steven. Pomona police officers came to the scene, and they spoke with the liquor store's owner. They watched several surveillance videos, and the man in the blue shirt looked familiar to police. They later realized that he had participated in a traffic stop of the man. They later identified the man in the video as Tre'Vell. The store owner told police that the man in the blue shirt was a frequent customer. The store owner also stated that Tre'Vell was standing next to the man in the white shirt when the man in the white shirt began firing a gun. He said he later found Tre'Vell wandering around the store and holding a gun. Police found Raymond with a head-to-head wounds. There was a blood trail at the entrance of the liquor store, and Raymond was later transported via helicopter. Raymond survived his injuries and was able to leave the hospital. Several witnesses picked Tre'Vell out of a lineup, and in July of 2014, they obtained an arrest warrant for Tre'Vell. This led to his arrest, and Tre'Vell was later sentenced to 147 years to life for the crime. Crime in Pomona would significantly drop in 2014, but that doesn't mean war between the gangs stopped. 5 people were injured in a shooting at a park in Pomona. The shooting happened at Palomares Park around 8 p.m. Police received a call of shots fired, and a little later, 3 men and 2 women showed up at a hospital to be treated for their injuries. The victims were said to be in stable condition, and the police said someone pulled up and opened fire from a car. Police said it was believed that the victims were all at the park hanging out when an unknown suspect fired at a nearby vehicle. The suspect vehicle left before the police arrived and was never caught. Police believe the motive for the shooting was gang-related. Palomares Park is a park that is claimed by the 456 Pirus, so the shooting is credited to the Crips trying to kill the 456 members. On November 9th, 2014, a shooting was reported around 8:30 p.m. outside of an apartment complex in the 2000 block of Las Vegas Avenue. Pomona police responded to several calls of shots fired. Then a caller advised there was a shooting victim. Responding officers located the victim near the sidewalk of the location. The victim died in an ambulance en route to the hospital. Police identified the victim as a 38-year-old man named Tory. It would take several years to find Tory killers, and it was allegedly done by the 456s. Just before 10:30 a.m. on March 8, 2015, Bubs was outside his home wiping down his car with a cloth when his mom Pearlie heard multiple gunshots. She testified that she immediately went outside and saw Bubs laying on the ground. Police and paramedics arrived soon after, and Bubs was declared dead at the scene. 12 shell casings, which appeared to be a combination of 45 and 38 caliber bullets, were found on the ground. An autopsy revealed that Bubs had suffered 11 gunshot wounds, 5 of which were fatal. Bubs claimed 456, but his home was in an area claimed by the Ghost Town Crips, an enemy of his gang. In March of 2015, a Ghost Town Crip member named Little Toon was murdered, so Bubs' death was believed to be revenge. A video of the shooting of Bubs taken by a nearby surveillance system showed 2 people running in the driveway on the driver's side of Bubs' car as he was wiping his car down. They came within 3 feet of him and shot him to death. The video also showed a car which looked like a Cadillac leaving the scene. Based upon information from an anonymous source, police detained a Ghost Town Crip named Donnell. The anonymous source said that they received a text message from Donnell the day of the murder. The records for that number were obtained and showed that approximately around 9:51 a.m. on the morning of the shooting, that Donnell received a call from a prison inmate. Detectives interviewed Donnell 3 times, and in the first interview, Donnell told them that he was there because Bubs had been killed. Donnell gave his birthday as June 5th and his cell phone passcode as 3100, which was assigned to Ghost Town's turf. Donnell denied being a gang member or even knowing Bubs or being near his house the day of the shooting. Donnell said he was at his girlfriend's house and learned about the shooting on Facebook. Donnell later claimed that he left his girlfriend's house that morning and went to the Golden Bear Inn in Chino, where he stayed until 11 a.m. He also denied having a cell phone number that the police had listed, or using the screen name on Facebook and Instagram as TC Deuce. Later in his first interview, Donnell claimed that he was with a big homie near the scene of the shooting. Donnell further explained that after he argued with the big homie sent 2 other homies instead, and they went together in a Cadillac. Donnell later admitted that he was with the other homie in the Cadillac when he went to Bubs' home, but Bubs fired at the older homie first, who then shot back. After a minute of shooting at each other, he said Bubs fell. Donnell said the big homie met up with them and then told them to get rid of his phone. In the second interview, Donnell again admitted being at the scene of the shooting, saying he rode there in the front seat of his homie car, and the older homie was alone in another car. Donnell then explained that the big homie wanted Bubs dead. In the third interview, detectives showed Donnell a photograph of the house. He told them that the big homie met him and another homie at Golden Bear Inn, and from there they went to Bubs' house in a Cadillac. Donnell claimed that they got as far as the brick wall separating them from the driveway of Bubs' home, and Bubs started firing at them from behind the wall. Donnell also claimed that he did not cross the brick wall or enter the driveway. The other man involved in the shooting was named Terry. Terry was arrested twice. The first time in June of 2015, Terry was stopped while driving a Cadillac, and registration and information in the car was all in his name. The car was later impounded. Police showed Terry a photograph of his car at the scene of the shooting, then placed him in a cell with an undercover cop. Terry told the undercover cop that he was a member of the Ghost Town Crips and that his name was Savage. Terry was released and arrested again on August 19th, 2015, when detectives told him that he was arrested on murder charges and that his phone had placed him in the area of the murder, and also that his car had been at the crime scene. Detectives then placed Terry in a cell with a confidential informant, and the cell was equipped with recording devices, and it recorded an hour-long convo. Terry told the informant that he was Savage from Ghost Town Crip, and that he had been arrested for a murder. He then said the police had told him they had evidence against him and an alleged accomplice that got caught up on everything. Terry said they had a whole lot of evidence because the other person got caught with a phone and talking to somebody in jail, and this linked him to the crime. Terry then told the informant that the police had a photograph of his car at the crime scene, and this is what all police needed. Donnell admitted to his role and what happened to the police, surveillance of the shooting, Terry talking to informants in jail. That's what really sealed their fate, along with Donnell having phone calls with prisoners about the shooting. Both Donnell and Terry received life sentences. In 2016, Snoop Dogg put together the Pomona City Movement, also just known as PCM. It was started to create peace among the city and give rappers from rival gangs a chance in a rap game.
Empire story, the Pomona City Movement, music and unity in Pomona, including rival territories known for gang influence. It's a project to bring rap artists together, and it's backed by Snoop Dogg.
You know, our city we usually go against each other, you feel me? So I wanted to take a different outlook on it.
Northside Nuisance is from a rival neighborhood.
I haven't explored all of Pomona until really the PCM. Diversity, we all together now, and it means a lot to me.
A group with success stories out of Pomona is back home, trying to end violence in their city.
We're trying to bring unity through the music, you know, stop a lot of the nonsense that's going on out here, unite the different cities, unite the different colors, the brown, the black, the Asians.
But that was short-lived, and beef never stopped, and rap beef got even worse. In August of 2018, the beef between the 456 Pirus and the Ghost Town Crips was in full-fledged. Dante, Malik, Tony, and Deontay were all Ghost Town Crips. Dante went by AWAC, Tony went by Little Bo, and Malik went by No Good. By 2018, Ghost Town and 456 would have a war of words through music and was dissing each other constant. On August 14th, 2018, a member of the 456 Pirus named Little Buddha wrote a message on Facebook that he would film a music video called Ghost Town Killer. On August 20th, Little Buddha posted the Ghost Town Killer video on YouTube. The video was filmed at locations within the Ghost Town territory and featured numerous of 4-5 gang members throwing up diss signs to Ghost Town. Little Buddha even wore a Ghostbuster shirt to diss Ghost Town. The whole song he was dissing Ghost Town and even diss AWAC. In response to the 456 Pirus shooting the music video in their hood, Ghost Town wanted revenge. On August 16th, AWAC sent a text to a person named Gabriel. He said that they were in a set deep and that they needed to die. Minutes later, AWAC sent a text to a person named Famous. He stated that they were at least 10 deep and taking pictures all in their hood and that they needed to die on Crip. On August 20th, at around 1 p.m., Deontay sent a private Facebook message to AWAC with a still image taken from Little Buddha's music video. Deontay asked whether he should call a meeting of the younger members, to which AWAC replied, ASAP. Within half an hour, Deontay sent a private Facebook message to someone. He said that they were having a meeting ASAP. The recipient responded, "Let's link," and he expressed anger about the music video. Deontay added, "Cuz we need some things in a set." Deontay indicated that the 456 members had lots of guns and that they needed to get some. Around the same time, Deontay also sent a private message to someone named Pooter, stating, "Cuz the young homies need guns in a set," which Pooter agreed to get some. On the same day, AWAC exchanged private messages with a man named Ray. AWAC wrote, "As soon as you see a burner and come across it, get it. I want everyone. I got the money and I'm gonna have it, so get on the low." AWAC was encouraging Ray to get guns. AWAC was mad and he questioned why the Ghost Town members had not prevented the music video from happening. On the evening of August 20th, AWAC, Little Bo, and several others exchanged private messages on Facebook after a man named James shared a link to the music video. AWAC wrote, "I love it on Crip, cuz. Now you gotta show out. If not, stop banging." The same evening, someone with the username RacistLope sent Deontay a message with the link to the music video. Deontay asked RacistLope if he had some money to put on the gun. RacistLope stated, "I got guns, and I got my gun plug for anything we need." On the early morning of August 21st, AWAC wrote a lengthy paragraph to a group on Facebook to Little Bo and 8 others, encouraging them to retaliate against the 456 Pirus for the music video. AWAC wrote, "All the little homies and the big homies know little AWAC still go hard as fuck." AWAC continued by saying, "Cuz them little boys did some disrespectful shit and they gon' pay for it. This just started war." Someone in the group replied that they knew Little Buddha worked at a Rite Aid in Pomona. Then they requested that the recipients in the group chat shut it down because they had too much business in here. On August 24th, AWAC sent a private Facebook message to someone named G-Stone, stating, "They bringing me that big thing from Vegas, cuz. It's on." The next day, at around 2:15 p.m., AWAC sent a private message on Facebook to several recipients, including Little Bo and 8 others. AWAC wrote, there was a job that needed to be done, and he questioned why the Ghost Town members would claim some shit that they can't respect. AWAC continued, "My whole time from the set, I've been making people respect it, and I'm gonna continue to do so." At around noon on August 27th, an individual called 911 and reported hearing around 15 shots near Willie White Park in Pomona, which is in Ghost Town's territory. Pomona police responded to the scene, where they recovered 4 9 casings. The police obtained video surveillance footage of the incident showing an individual firing a gun and then ducking down, followed by the shooter and several other people running towards two cars parked at the end of a cul-de-sac. The next day, No Good exchanged messages with AWAC. No Good wrote, "They came back 2 cars deep yesterday." AWAC questioned, "And did what?" AWAC continued, "It's time for that big boy. See if you can find some 223 shells. I only got 30 on me." On August 29th, at around 8 a.m., Deontay sent Lil Bo a private message on Facebook. He said, "You got that thing on you?" Deontay indicated that he also had a gun, and Deontay and Lil Bo agreed to meet in Ghost Town territory with No Good. Deontay received a private Facebook message from a woman named Lisa, asking what's going on. Deontay replied, "Nothing. Riding in Pomona, looking for them," indicating that he was looking for the 456 Pirus. Sometime between 12:30 p.m., a video was shot depicting Deontay, No Good, and Lil Bo standing near the intersection of Leonard Street and Pomona, in the heart of the 456's territory. In the video, Deontay started dissing 456, and so did No Good. No Good flashed a gun in the video. He said, "We out here looking for y'all. We not joking." The video was later played in court for the jury. At around 1:30 p.m., a man named Roman was traveling southbound in his truck near the intersection of Town and Harrison, which is in Pomona, when he seen 2 cars racing northbound. The first car was a blue SUV, and it crashed. A black man then exited the SUV, and he was holding a rifle. Roman heard 30 to 35 shots as he dug down on the floor of his truck. After the gunfire stopped, Roman exited his vehicle. He found blood on the front bumper of his car. A witness who called 911 stated that a blue SUV ran a red light, then it collided with a silver sedan. After the collision, men in the silver car began to fire at the SUV. There was at least 8 black men shooting and running. The men then who exited the blue SUV ran across the street to a residential neighborhood, leaving their car behind. Then the silver car then drove away. Claremont police responded to the scene, and they began searching for the shooters. They located 3 black men walking north together in a group, about a third of a mile from the incident. The group began to run. Multiple police officers responded to the scene. One officer detained AWAC and Deontay, who were sweating and breathing heavily as they'd been running. Another officer located No Good hiding under a boat near a residence. They arrested him. A third officer located Lil Bo in a house on Jason Court, just north of the incident. Lil Bo had been shot several times, and he was transported to a hospital. Pomona police responded to the incident. From the driver's side floorboard inside the blue SUV, police recovered a gun with 13 rounds in it. It was the same gun that Lil Bo had in the August 29th video. Mail addressed to AWAC was also found on the front passenger seat, as well as several phones. Police were able to access text messages, call logs, and other information stored on the phones. One of the phones appeared to belong to AWAC because it was connected to his social media accounts and contained photos of him and even included messages identifying him as the user of the phone. On November 11, 2018, 3 members of the 456 Pirus were arrested, and 4 firearms were recovered during the arrest, 2 of which matched ballistics evidence from the August 29th shooting. On August 29, 2018, Deontay made a recorded jail call to a woman named Margarita. Deontay told Margarita he was in jail, and he was explaining, "I was on my way home, then some bullshit happened." Deontay said he tried to keep going, but they got behind us. Margarita said she heard about a shooting on town, and that she seen that Lil Bo had did a video. On September 15, 2018, AWAC made a call to an unknown individual. He stated that the guns that they had in the shooting didn't work. 456 Piru rapper Lil Buddha was one of the 4 456 members arrested in November. On January 7, 2019, detectives recorded a jail conversation between Lil Buddha and an undercover law enforcement agent. During the conversation, Lil Buddha admitted that he was a member of the 456 Pirus. Lil Buddha said he'd been in a shootout and had seen a video made by Ghost Town members in their hood. Lil Buddha and others began looking for the Crips. Lil Buddha said, "I'm guessing they left, but then they came back and tried to make another video." Lil Buddha said he saw a blue car, and the next thing you know they see us, and they try to take off in their car, so we chased them down. During the chase, they pulled out a gun out their car and tried to scare us, but Lil Buddha said he did not believe they was going to shoot. Lil Buddha and his homies began firing at them once the car crashed. They let the whole car have it, he said. He said it was an older dude who was shooting back, and the other 2 dudes that was over there with them was just trying to run with their guns. Lil Buddha believed 2 of the Ghost Town members were shot, and the person firing back at Lil Buddha and his homies was the only one that didn't get shot. Lil Buddha identified one of the Ghost Town members as AWAC. AWAC, Deontay, Little Bo, and No Good will all receive various charges from the Ghost Town side. And from the 456 Pirus side, Little Buddha and a man named Marcus were also charged with the shooting. But besides Little Buddha, he wasn't the only rapper from 456 Pirus who went down for a shooting. PJ North was a rapper from the area, and he put out several songs along with another rapper from the area being Nonsense. They both appeared in a video on Street TV, but PJ North will go to jail by 2021 for a murder that I covered before in this episode from 2014, which a man Tory was killed. As of recent with the 456 Pirus, they've been getting a lot of recognition with a rapper and content creator from their turf being King Pill. Now King Pill roots to the area has been disputed, with him being stated to have got put on in jail.
Then he take me over there to the table with all the Damus, and they like 10 deep at the table. And they like, look, blood, you know you can't be causing problems to find who you gonna be under, and you need to see what car you gonna ride with. And I'm like, well, you already know my situation. I've been claiming Piru, I ain't got my official put on.
But whatever his situation is over there, it seems like his hood is behind him, and he became a known face through social media, mostly for his beefs.
True. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true, you feel me? I believe that was true, you feel me? Yeah, some shit like that. We was politicking about it, you feel me? It made sense. You know what I'm saying?
But you probably, when you recorded that, you probably weren't expecting it to be like what it became, huh? You didn't know that was gonna be like your.
Man, I was to my audience, you feel me?
This out though, we ain't gonna let that linger on. I'm from 83rd Street, bro. Like, and that's just the set, you feel me? Like, I know where he from on the set, and I don't play into the little fake politics. He ain't dissing A-Trey on the set. Period. I'm not barring no disrespect from no. Ain't never barred no disrespect from no. Period.
Who said somebody disrespected you?
But still, the topic coming up.
Yeah, that's what I tried to read in.
I'm talking to this man, bro.
Oh,
I'm talking to him because the topic lingering, bro.
That I'm disrespecting you?
Bro, you not hear what I'm saying?
Nah.
You said you from a community, right. and you said where it's aimed at.
But it ain't this show said though.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying though.
Okay, so we saying the same shit. So we saying the same shit.
Okay, for sure.
We don't gotta talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
For sure.
Clarify. What we on though?
Clarify.
We on.
What we on? What is we on? Looking at me like, what did you say? What did you want? That's how you supposed to press. What did you say? What you want? What is we on? Let's line it up, man. Let me see if you really got them hands you talking about, fat hefe. Yeah, you laid up at no jumper, farting and snoring, laying next to, sitting up next to Lush, stinking, smelling like buzz balls and garlic. Stop playing with me, boy. You can't get with this program. Guarantee you can't get with this program. Guaranteed I touch that chin and make your whole little fat body spin.
We can meet Samir Mutual, and I'm gonna whoop your feet for the free. We ain't doing nothing for no money because I'm not about to put no money in your pocket. You know, a lot of my guys, they hit me. They tired of you talking. Hey.
He even did a hood tour with No Jumper, showing his hood.
A lot of activity. Y'all are called the island, right? Because y'all surrounded by different hoods, right?
Right. You gotta stand solid, you feel me? Like a strong body of land, you feel me? In the ocean. You gotta stand solid, you feel me?
This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.